Hi y'all, I'm Graham from Busby. We are doing a very exciting video today, a video that's been much anticipated by many of our customers of how we actually build a Paradise Honey bee box. How do we put one together? The principles with this is exactly the same as if you apply building, this is a full depth size, but if you applied it and build it with an ideal, a manly, WSP, we have those sizes available. So the same principle will apply, whatever they do. They all come with various different components, two sides, a front and back, and then the proformers that go apart. As you, with each side of the front and back, you have one top and one bottom. Usually when we send them out, they come already done, assembled like this for you, so it makes it a bit easier for you. However, if they don't, we'll show you the steps of how this goes together as well. Make sure that these go on prior to you actually putting the actual main sides together. That is extremely important, so put it together. This on first, then you assemble the actual box. But as part of the process, you'll need some basic tools. It'll be a mallet, some PVA wood glue, or a polyurethane glue, but there's a difference in the way you use them. Scrap piece of wood to bang against, so you don't actually damage the actual polystyrene. And then finally, a damp cloth. Wipe away any excess glue if it's PVA wood glue. Polyurethane glue doesn't quite work well with a cloth like this. So those are the basic tools. But let's get going. When working with the proformers, these are these yellow plastic pieces. They come with two tops and two bottoms, obviously for the front and back. There's also two methods in the way you can actually attach these. It's up to you which way you want to go. We're going to show you both ways. Some method which is easier, you may need a little mallet, so just keep that handy if you need to. If we look at the very top part here, it's got this flat ledge, which is where the actual frame sits upon, and that sits on top of this ledge here. Now, if you're looking very carefully, there's a slight slot in here. That slot just slides in there, and you can push that on. It's very easy, very straightforward. If it's a little bit tight, then fine, you can use a mallet just to tap it in place as well. So that is the top one. Turn upside down now. And again, if you get the actual bottom part, again, align the two together that way. Put position that way, and then slide down again as well. Just make sure that these areas are absolutely flush. So when they go together, you don't actually have any problems there as well. So that's method number one. The second method, which we tend to use a lot more over here, is because we go through a lot of volume, we find this a bit quicker, this method. So again, you've got the top part here with the ledge. What we don't tend to do is slide it. What we tend to do is go across. In this case, we're going to go that way. Now, if I position it there, you'll notice there's actually a slight gap in this point here. Hopefully you can see that. And if I push it down a little bit more, it simply slots into position. So it just goes in that way. So I push that ledge in from this side, and then you find the other will clip over very nice and easily. Again, just line it up and down a bit more, turn upside down. Again, what I find is easier to put in this case over the top of this lump rather than the other way around. You're going to find it very hard to go over that way. So go this way, line this little groove over there, inside this groove, position there, like that, and then push it over. Done. Clip, all done. Again, a little bit of alignment may be required, but done. So that's effectively two different methods. ALB is up to you which way you want to choose, but as long as you go that way, everything's lined up nice and neatly and done. Make sure, again, this is in place before you assemble the actual sides on the box itself. You're going to find it very difficult otherwise, so that's your method to choose from. For the assembly, what we find is best to work in halves. So we get the actual physical, one of the sides are down at the moment. We tend to push that away from us, and obviously making sure that the handles are all pointing in the same way. So we're going to make sure that the top is towards you and the bottom is towards me at the moment. We get the actual, do exactly the same with the actual front and back. Again, the same position. What we find though, is because we're actually going to be gluing the tongues part of it, we also want to get inside there. So what we tend to do is turn, where this is facing the outside, I turn the two outsides and touch them together. But again, making sure that towards you is the top and the back towards me. That means now I've got exposed area right across of all these different surfaces and faces. What we're going to do now is get the PVA wood glue in this case. And what we don't do is absolutely coat it crazily. It's just sufficient for what we need. So we got the flat surfaces here, all the flat surfaces here, and then along the ridges here, we don't glue all the way down, we just do along the top, because when we push it down into the female part, effectively it'll smear that glue over these different areas. So we're going to do that first, do the flat areas first. Anything that is pretty much the top part. I'm not touching any of those tongues yet at the moment. Okay, little bit of these flat areas here, slight wiggle. And then on the top here, just going along the top ridge. Same again, yeah, on the inside. Not too much glue. And then again along here, just along the ridge, just along the ridge. Now the precision of the way this goes together is extremely good. So you don't have to worry too much about as you push it through. It should be nice and square. Any excess glue, just push it on, and we now got that effectively so all the way over. So again, if you look very carefully, just along the bead, along the top, on the inside too as well. So just going to work on one side first. Again, making sure that the top is towards you. Put it on top. I tend to give a little bit of encouragement in first. I don't have to push all the way in yet. Go back to the other side. Again, top towards you and facing outwards. And push it down that way. Now I don't necessarily have to use the mallet here at this point. I'm just going to be getting this roughly in position. And now while this is already in place, I'm going to now glue this part rather than the main face. So again, all the flat surfaces again. And I tend to leave the sides till the next stage because they come back, because otherwise we're going to start dribbling down. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to do the sides. It's a little bit beading along it. If you put too much, and don't worry too much, we can always wipe it off. Along there, along there. So we now got there. Now what I do, again, keeping things nice and easy, again, the top towards you, but again, facing outwards. Turns upside down, keeping the same orientation. Work on one side, get a little bit wiggle in there. Let's do the same there. And now we got it roughly into place. It's not all assembled yet, but it's roughly in place. Again, you might need some adjustments with the actual proformers, might knock them a little bit. And now this is where the scrap piece of wood comes into place. So I'll push that. Now, what I don't recommend is doing all one side 100% the other, because sometimes it can be pushed out. So just do a little bit, then go back to the one side and come back again to the next. Right. If you want to, turn it over. Obviously, be careful if you've got any scrap wood that's got a little indentation, make sure that doesn't go on the actual surface, otherwise it might impregnate that pattern into it. A little bit more. You should see, noticing now, any excess glue is now coming out the side. That gives you shows you how precise that fit is. This side again, just double check. A little bit of encouragement. And I think we're pretty much there. Just double check, everything's looking good. It is. So we've got a nice lot of glue coming in. Now this is where that rag comes into play. Wipe on the inside. I recommend doing it at this stage. Do not leave it too long. If it's on those warmer days, you find that wood glue will go and set quite fast. Now, if you don't worry about being too precise on this, as long as you wipe it over, remember that this is going to be painted at the end as well. So this is just the first stage. And as I said before, this same principle will apply if you're doing it with a Manly box, Ideal, or whatever. The Ideal is extremely popular, and Manly is popular, particularly in certain areas of the countries and the world, and in America too. But this is the same sort of principle applied to all of those different sizes. So again, this is what our final box looks like. That's how it looks. So hopefully that's straightforward. So the big tips again is make sure you use the basic tools, which are the mallet, scrap piece of wood, PVA wood glue, or your polyurethane. The difference of if you can use polyurethane glue, I've used it a lot in the past. Just be aware that as a polyurethane sets, it does expand. So you make sure that if you're going to do that, you make sure you've got some clamps on the side, because otherwise it could potentially pop these out. So I tend to use PVA wood glue. It's very simple, very easy, and easy to get. that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any other questions, please let us know. I love a like if you can do it. If you like these type of videos, we'll try and do more. One of the other videos we're going to have is our painting. If you want to click on this link up here, we should be able to show you how you paint these boxes as well. Happy beekeeping, everybody.